Stacy the Blackfeather Intuitive. Welcome to Pop Culture Readings. Around here, we're all about curiosity, clarity, and courage, understanding ourselves, each other, and the beautifully messy mystery of being human. Come with your questions, leave with understanding, and maybe a little lighter than before. And today we are talking about Michael B. Jordan and RAYE. So Michael B. Jordan and RAYE have people wondering if there might be a little more happening than meets the eye. But before we start planning the celebrity wedding, let's see what's actually brewing between these two. And if you like this type of content and our tea meets intuitive insight style today, like, subscribe, and comment with suggestions for your topics that you're exploring as well. Would love to tune in for you in this way. So let's get to the heart of the story. So Michael B. Jordan and RAYE were spotted together at Six Flags Magic Mountain on August 7th, looking quite comfortable and quite playful, and apparently this wasn't their first outing. Sources tell people they've also had several dinners together, and they really like each other. RAYE has reportedly told friends Michael is her type and described him as warm and kind. But another source says, hold your horses, internet. They're just friends. And the Six Flags outing was a group event. Neither has publicly confirmed a romance. In other words, we have ourselves a situationship investigation. So let's spill the tea. Cards. What is the actual energy between Michael and RAYE right now? Is it friendship, attraction, exploration, or the beginning of something neither is ready to label yet? All right, guys. Ooh, this is the card that's speaking to me. Ooh, Six of Wands. Okay, so first of all, Wands energy is fire, it's passion. It is our soul energy. And Six of Wands is harmony, balance, and alignment. Six of Wands is victory. So pulling this card to talk about the actual energy between Michael and RAYE right now, I definitely feel that there is an attraction. I feel that there is a spark between two of them. Now, when we get that victory card, sometimes this card can come up and it feels like a bit of a false victory, something that is, minor in comparison, that, we won the battle, but we haven't won the war. I'm feeling here that they are definitely in attraction, and they are exploring what that attraction could become. Is it the beginning of something neither is ready to label yet? That remains to be seen. I feel like this is still very new. And I am also seeing that both of them kind of take the approach to relationship that they're not going to dive in right away. They're both curious. They're both individuals who like to observe a little bit, see what they see, feel what they feel, notice what they notice before they dive all in. So neither of these two, I want to say, are more impulsive in nature. They want to see what is available there. They want to see what can be, and they take their time. It's a little step at a time, a little step at a time, a little step at a time. Does this have potential to be something a little more romantic? Absolutely. And I would say to you, probably we're going to start to see something shifting before the end of the year. I'm seeing maybe November to December timeframe, where something may shift, something may transpire. Let's explore the truth beneath this first before we get into timings and what it is that I'm seeing with all of that. So are we watching the beginning of something, or are we watching the internet write the love story before these two have? And that happens a lot when we're dealing with that issue. And I'm feeling here, interesting, the moon. Things are not always what they seem. And I feel like it's important here that we slow our roll, that we do hold our horses with this, because there is a component of the internet writing this love story. And I want to say, I feel like these two, because they do tend to take their time, they're not impulsive in their, sort of relationship explorations. It's going to take some time for them to figure out who they are becoming with one another. And, there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a spark for somebody and not exploring it in a romantic capacity, and instead just choosing to maintain a deep, lasting friendship. So I feel like, the verdict isn't out yet, But the truth behind it is there is a little bit of the internet stirring stuff up. But I also want to say that the internet and people who are watching, their spidey senses are going off because they sense that there's potential here. And whenever people sense potential, they want to get in there like a dirty shirt and, live vicariously through someone else. So I would say with the moon energy, this is our feelings and our emotions. This is that intuitive energy that we're tapping into. But the moon also it's light, it casts light, but it's a very different light than the sun. The sun is very bold and in your face, and you feel the heat. The moon is a softer, gentler light. It can cast different shadows. I like to say the moon is the Scooby-Doo energy. Oh my God, there's a ghost on the wall of that garage. But then when you actually go a little closer to explore it, you realize, oh, it's just a rag on a rake. And my perception of it, my perspective of it, and maybe my desires or my fears ran away with me and created something that wasn't there. So I'm definitely feeling that we need to be careful with how much we project onto this couple. Let them explore who they can be for one another. And we're just going to do a little bonus question here with the truth beneath it. If there is romantic potential here, what would each of them need from the other for this connection to become something real rather than simply exciting? Interesting. Judgment, choice, choosing one another, making the decision to move forward in a new direction. I want to say to you, if they do decide to explore romantic potential here, I do feel that this could be a long-term potential commitment. This could be a long-term relationship, something that really lasts with a very deep love for one another. So yeah, like every relationship, it is exciting at first. You're never sure exactly what it's going to become. But the real meat and potatoes, the real magic of any romantic partnership is when that love goes deep and you can't imagine your life without that other person. That's the potential that they have. And it's kind of in the process of them, each of them needing to choose the other and to really be in a commitment to this next path moving forward. I think that's pretty cool. All right, mirror, mirror on the wall, mirror work time. It's so cheesy, but I love it. Why are we humans always in such a hurry to define a connection instead of letting it show us what it wants to become? I'm going to share with you a little bit of my opinion on this. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So take what works for you, leave the rest behind. I do have a card here. We'll see what the card has to say. But I believe that a lot of us have been kind of programmed. It's like society tells us that romantic partnership is the most important thing in our lives. Perhaps it is our body's innate function to procreate, to make sure that we survive as a species. Perhaps it is some old patriarchal stuff that we're still hanging on to, the idea that we can't do this wild ride called life solo. We always have to be partnered and in partnership in order to survive. Whatever it means, I feel that we are in the process of changing that, shifting that up, turning that paradigm upside down. But there is still that part of us as human beings that has been kind of woven in to our DNA. It's been there for a really long freaking time. And so it's important for us to be very conscious and very intentional about why we are always so connected to and drawn to people who get involved in relationships. We don't want to perpetuate a cycle where we are just focusing on getting into a relationship for the sake of being in relationship. It's got to mean something. And I feel like Michael B. Jordan and RAYE's beginnings right now are a great example of that. Take your time. Don't be so quick to slap a label on anything. Allow things to unfold organically, because you don't want to get involved in a connection that isn't really going to have true meaning for you. You don't want to be with somebody just to say you're with somebody. You want it to be right for you. So that, I feel, is why we're always in such a hurry to divine a connection, because there's that innate fear that, oh, if I, maybe this is the best I can arrive at, and, I've got to have this, and then I can lock it in and I can move on with the rest of my life. It's more important for us to see what it wants to become. And here we have the world coming full circle, going through the journey. The world is the end of the major arcana in the tarot. You start with the Fool and you go through all of these archetypal experiences, and then you hit the world coming full circle, a sum total of everything that you strove to achieve. And that world card is saying this is what it really means to be in a true connection. When you come full circle, when you recognize that, the two of us coming together has really changed me forever as a person in positive ways. I'm a different person now, and I'm a better person. I'm a more evolved person. And that takes time. So enjoy the journey. Not to be too pedantic about it, but it really is never about the destination, and it's always about the journey. We think to ourselves, when I get here, things are going to be amazing. But the life that we live is in the now. And I mean, in our now, in today, we're always on some journey. We're always on a path. Don't discount that. I feel like that's what the cards are trying to say to us. And that's what Michael B. Jordan and RAYE are exhibiting to us. That's what they're showing us. So I'm going to say exploration of potential relationship goals. All right, guys, that is our episode of Pop Culture Readings. And remember, curiosity gets us in the door. Clarity helps us understand what we're seeing, and courage is what we do with what we've learned. Until I see you for another episode of Pop Culture Readings, sending lots of love, lots of support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.